Today it's a special video which I'm gonna make for you. I'm in a place where everything started, the place where the motorcycle journey started for me. Here is the place where everything started, the place where I start for the first time to ride a motorcycle, the place where I've learned to ride, and the place where I'm here after how many years? After 5 years, more than 5 years, exactly 5 years ago. I started this journey, this motorcycle journey at the motorcycle school. And the surprise which I have for you, it's just in front of me. Let me show you what we have here. It's of course my TRANSALP, the new TRANSALP 600V. And close to the new TRANSALP, there is a 1999 Honda TRANSALP 600V. The legendary TRANSALP 600V from 1999. Just check it out. You can see the differences between the generations. I think this one, it's the third generation of TRANSALP from 1999, a 600V V-engine. If you're thinking, or if you're asking yourself what are the differences between the two bikes, between these two different generations of TRANSALP, I'm gonna show you, and we're gonna also ride this bike to give you a feedback or just to compare the feeling of riding two generations of Honda TRANSALP. We can also measure the ground clearance for the old TRANSALP, as we can compare it. 2 secunde. Alright, what we have here, cât e 221, something like this. În dreapta, nu? Da. So 200 and 210. Yes, 210. 210. And let's check out also for the TRANSALP 750. Let's check it out. It's slightly higher from what I can see. 200, maybe I'm not measuring right. 212. So this is a 1999 Honda TRANSALP 600V. It has about 54 horsepower, 21-inch front wheel, 18-inch on the rear. It's quite heavy. It has 220 kilos without liquid, without the petrol in. Deci 220 la gol. 220 kilos without petrol. The petrol tank has 17 liters plus 220 kilos. That's 237 kilos only naked, so without crash bars, without skid plate, without anything. This bike, it's quite heavy. This V engine, it's also placed in the upper position, so somehow the center of gravity, it's mid positioned. It's not low, it's not too high, but it's somehow mid positioned. And look at this bike from 1999. It's still running. Câți kilometri aveți? How many kilometers, you're wondering, this bike has? 236,000. 236,000, because it was reset from 100 to 100 kilometers, so it's what already resetted twice. So this means it has 200 plus 36,000, which is really impressive to have a bike that lasted for so long. Hopefully my TRANSALP will last at least half of this one, because yeah, it's really impressive to have a bike for this age and to be able to ride it. Let me tell you something very interesting about this bike. The maintenance for this bike, it's really easy, especially some of the parts which you need to change. For example, the air filter. The air filter, it's close to the battery. So the air filter, it's in this position, close to the battery, and you only have to remove this rear fender and you are able to change the rear filter easily. The spark plugs, 4 spark plugs, 2 on each side, very easy to change. You have access, one it's here, and the second one it's in the upper part. You also have access to the spark plugs very easily. So spark plugs, air filter, the rest you can do it, the maintenance yourself. So it's very easy in terms of maintenance. It has a carburetor, of course, and no matter, for example, you have this shock which you need to action it, even if the bike stays for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you still have to use the shock to be able to adjust the air gas proportions. So you still need to use this to adjust the air fuel ratio. Also, an interesting stuff is that this handlebar also has a rubber bumper or a rubber shock absorber somewhere here. So it's strange that this handlebar also has some movement. If you can see. So I'm moving this handlebar and still there is movement on the risers. There is a rubber part which acts like a bump, acts like a shock absorber, and this is normal, but you have the feeling that the handlebar it's unstable, but still this is the construction of it. It's quite strange. Also the gear shifter lever, it's positioned somehow very close to the bike. You need to put some effort to reach it with your hand. It's somehow in an angle. See the Honda engine made in Japan for sure. Coolant also very accessible. Here you can change it. In my case, I need to take off the seat. It's under the seat. Something interesting about the main central stand. On the previous model, you see it has this the central stand goes a little bit down in comparison with the skid plate, which somehow puts you in difficulty when riding off-road. The owner said that many times he had difficulties by touching the surface with this one, but this is not happening on the new TRANSALP. This is very good, and I already mentioned when I mounted the central stand that you can check it out, the position of the main central stand in comparison with the old version. Yeah, it's really part of the history, this model. Here is the petrol tank, the mirrors. It's a different age, man. It's a different age, different epoch. And you can see actually the two bikes together. Check out the exhaust, how high it's positioned, which is really good for off-roading. You have all this space clear, and you have the exhaust very high position. The owner said that he has no issues burning. He said he has no issues burning the signal light, the rear signal light. As you can see, it's the original one. So nothing happened, no burns on the rear signal light, although the exhaust it's quite high positioned and very close to it. You can check it out. It's much better. You can see the swing arm. The swing arm, it's in very good conditions. Not the same about the rear shock. Has suffered some, you know, it was really used. You can check it out. And the V engine, it has 583 cubic centimeters. This is the exact displacement. What an engine. Let's hear it. Let's put the key on. Salut. Let's put the key on and try to start it. As I mentioned before starting it, it's recommended that you press this shock on the left lever because it's carburetor. Let's check it out. Now it's too accelerated. We need to leave it. All right. Check out the sound. V engine, Honda TRANSALP 600V from 1999. The headlight, you need to open it. It was not, of course, automatic at that time. The dashboard, it's quite simple. You can have this sign. It's very funny, the S sign, which means that the side stand, it's on. Neutral. The engine temperature, the RPMs, miles, the RPMs, kilometers per hour, the speed, and very basic, but so tough, so resistant. After how many years? And now it's without the shock, and you can see how silent now it is. So this is without the shock. It tries to stay at idle, and it did. I'm actually lucky to be able to ride this bike in this polygon and try to give you some feedback. First of all, let's get on the bike. So I remember from what I already told you, this bike weighs 220 without the gas and 237 fully with the fuel tank filled completely. Let's try to start it. First, a little bit of shock. And as you can see, accelerating, you can feel its weight, man, straight from entering. You need to feel, and whoa. What a feeling, man. Riding a piece of history. The Honda TRANSALP 600V from 1999. What a bike. And the clutch lever is so tough. Wow, you really need to press it. The power, it's 54 it had, but now we don't know how much we're gonna have. And yeah, it's this you really feel that you have under you more than 237 kilos, because now we have also the crash bars and everything on it. But man, what a feeling. The seat is very comfortable, the riding position is very comfortable. It's really a nice feeling to have. Let's try to see its maneuverability somehow. You feel the shocks from the drive chain. The handling, it's you really need to get used with it. The handling, I would say, you cannot even compare it with the new TRANSALP. It's much better for the new one, but this one has made its place in history. 236,000 kilometers, if you can imagine. Cannot even think about it. It's a dream to have on my bike for this moment. 236,000. The handling, it's quite good from the standing position. Let's see, when we get up on the bike, it's really difficult to turn with this. You cannot somehow maneuver the bike from the standing position so easily as you can do it with the new TRANSALP, that's for sure. And the things that are really downside for me is not the electronics, is not the package, is the weight, as I've already mentioned. But anyway, I really like that you can actually tie up the legs much better from the petrol tank, from this standing position, from this normal standing position. When in upper position, yeah, the handlebar are quite low. That's why this bike already has some risers. Honda TRANSALP 1999, the third generation. Yeah, now I can somehow accommodate with the weight of the bike. It's really I cannot even imagine myself riding this bike or this old bikes. I have all my respect for the owners of these bikes, for these bikes in general. They made history, but let's face it, man, progress has been done, that's for sure. And somehow we need to embrace new technologies, but in the same time keep the old technologies, or keep the technologies which were useful. For example, now how many bikes are built to last 236,000 kilometers? I don't even imagine how many, or yeah, if there are any bikes. The Honda NC750X has proven to last more than 270,000 kilometers. I don't know about the new TRANSALP. We just have to wait and see the years passing, and to see how the bike will prove its durability. Yeah, you can do it also with this TRANSALP 1999, man. Wow. The power, when you accelerate, you have the feeling that you're standing, but this is very good for off-roading or for gravel roading. You don't need this power actually. And the gear shifting, it's quite precise, I really like it. Look, perfect. The third gear goes very fast, and the downshifting, it's without any issues. All my respect to the gear shifting, to the gearbox. It's really nice. It changes very good. But man, the weight, this weight, I have the feeling that I'm riding a GS 1250. Yeah, man, I was riding the 1999 Honda TRANSALP. I was riding the new Honda 750 TRANSALP. So yeah, the technology moves forward, time passes, there are new technologies on the bikes. But man, when nowadays people are not thinking to build motorcycles to last, I'm looking forward to to let the time pass and see and check out the reliability of this new TRANSALP. I really hope that someone in the future, after 20-30 years, will put together an old TRANSALP 750 and a new one, and we have to say, man, yes, this bike was amazing at this time. 200 was amazing at 223 year. Maybe we are in the year 2050 and we have an old 2023 TRANSALP and the new 2051, and we can put them together and someone will say, this was a great bike in 2023. It lasted 200,000 kilometers as this one. You can check it out, this legendary Honda TRANSALP and the new one. The TRANSALP was also called popularly like cow or bull sau taur mai bine, nu? People they say it was a cow, but this one it's a bull. Thank you for watching this video, the two generations of TRANSALP together, 600V from 1999 and a 750 from 2023. Until the next story, stick around.